Just dried the boat out so I can service the leg and change the oil. It's well overdue, so changed it. It was a bit milky, but I think it wasn't any worse than it was last year. Another perfect sunset over Crab Island in Morton Bay, Queensland, Australia. 20 minutes later, tide's come in quite a bit. There's two boats on the sandbank. There's a catamaran over here. And that's the end of Crab Island down there. And I was anchored down by the end of those mangroves yesterday. And there's the tide coming in. Last night the tide came in and I motored out of behind Crab Island round to the sand hills. I've stayed here the night, arrived about 10 o'clock, and in the morning there was a bit of southwesterly wind which was a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, a lot of viewers are saying that I don't take safety very, paramount. Well, I don't. But I have started using a life jacket, and last year I bought myself an EPIRB, personal EPIRB, because I decided that using a safety harness doesn't really cut it. I got one. And when it's really blowing and you think, oh God, I ought to use the safety harness, the trouble is, if I fell overboard with the safety harness, I wouldn't get myself back on board. And if I make the harness too small so that I can't fall off, I've only got a metre, and it means you're exposed all the way up there, right to the front, before you can clip on. Anyway, I haven't given the harness away. I'll still use the harness on occasions, but I went for this, which is the safety harness and EPIRB. When I thought about it, was the most sensible thing to do. So I'm going to put my sunglasses on now and go sailing. So I'm going to start the engine, turn around, get the sails up, and head off down to Tangalooma, hopefully. This is my preventer, stops the boom rolling about when at anchor or when I'm getting the sail up. Oh, that's not cooperating. Anyway, I'll get that off. I don't need that. And then, for all those people that have a humming topping lift when they anchor, and they think, well, how can I sort that out? Basically, what you do is you get your main sheet when you're finished with it, and you wrap it round about 4 times, and then just pull it up again round the topping lift, and this stops it humming. Right. Just got the swimmers before they fell over the side. That's good. Saved myself $20 odd. Here we go. Well, that's everything done. So I should be able to start the engine up now. Put that down there. There we go. Put that in there. I think I'm going to put one reef in. We reckon it's going to be blowing 20 knots when I get down there. So. It up the rest of the way, saves the hand, trying to rip your hands apart. Jib up now. everything done. Just head off downwind now. I'll tack around. Driving around there. Well, that's it. I'm underway. Don't forget, if you've got a topping lift, and it's humming, you just get the main halyard and wrap it round it 3 or 4 times, you know, connect it up the end of the boom and then just pull it tight and the bloody thing won't hum. It took me about a year to work that out, and I looked on the internet and that's the simple fix. Got to go round a big sandspit, comes right out to about where that sailing ship, which I think is One and All, is at the moment, out there. Towing my old Zodiac dinghy, and to be quite honest with you, after having the one that I had last year with the aero floor, that was a bit heavy, and I found the old Zodiac dinghy I just borrowed off Stratos is pretty good. I've got another Zodiac dinghy I've bought. The floors come apart, but otherwise it's perfectly okay. So I've only got to re-glue the floor in, and should have a good dinghy. This happens quite often, you know. I sailed in the dark last night, so I had it on night vision, and so consequently I've just started off now and it's still on night vision. Well, they don't give you a button really to press to tell you that it's on night vision, or you could just change between. So I've got to hope that I've got it on, press that, and it should come. There you go. That's how you do it. So now I've got that. Now I've got to do the same with the other one now. Okay. And that's me leaving. Sandhills is down here, where my finger is. Basically just behind that. And I've got to go round this blue area here. So I'm going to have to bear away a bit more in a minute. Just going to get the other one going as well, which is the Echo Sounder. That took me a while to get going. Anyway, we're in 6.6 meters of water, and I'm just going to go, I can see a yellow buoy out there, so I'm going to go and head for that, and that will take me around that sandbank. Well, there's the red buoy I've got to, sorry, there's the yellow buoy I've got to go around, and there's a dugong just there. Can you see it? Wow. As you can see, I'm well off the coast here, and I'm in 4.5 of water. It's just dropping now as we come off that bank. Can you see? 5, it's just shooting down. And they're really, really big lip here. We're in 10, 11, slowly coming down now. 12. Bottoming out about 13, I think. As you can see, we're in just over 4 meters of water just back there, and look how far we're off the coast. It's a long way. If you haven't run aground in Morton Bay, you haven't sailed here. We've just gone round Shark Point, I think, or Shark Spit. I don't count. And we're about halfway. We've been going an hour. Let's see what speed we're doing. It's kind of quieting down a bit at the moment, but we're doing 5 knots. And I think we've got a bit of tide against us now. There's another yellow buoy we've gone round. And we're heading down a channel which is probably about a quarter of a mile off this point down here. There's a gap between the sandbanks. And then it's fairly close to Tangalooma then. One of the new additions to the boat is the new seat at the front. It's made of kind of high tech. I think it's made of Nomex, so it's very light. And before it was like 3/4 inch plywood anyway. That was rotted out, so I made a lightweight one. I thought, well, you don't really want any more weight up the front than you possibly have to have. Well, I thought I'd better try the seat out. I haven't tried it out yet. It actually supports my weight, which I'm very happy with. Well, I've been on the boat now since for nearly 2 weeks now, and come Thursday anyway, and a pretty busy resort here. They've got quad bikes going up and down the beach, and they've got a helicopter that takes off and takes people for a kind of 15-minute thing, ride, and go. I think it's just about to take off now. Here he goes, just feathering his braids. And he's off. The wrecks are down there, and I'd like to get the sails down now and get myself prepared to go and find myself something to a place to anchor. Go around into the wind now. Pushing it out a bit so I don't get tangled up. jib away now.
Yeah, it's a bit crowded at the moment through here. I was just having a look to see if there's anywhere else we could go. Well, the wrecks are down there, and I'd like to get the sails down now and get myself prepared to go and find myself something to a place to anchor. Yeah, it's a bit crowded at the moment through here. I was just having a look to see if there's anywhere else we could go.
It was a bit crowded at Tangalooma Wrecks yesterday, so I spent the anchored down here, which is just north of the wrecks, in about 1.6 of water at low tide. And there's some great sand dunes right up coming down to the water, and there's a sea eagle in one of the trees here that this morning was at low tide was plying his trade. I didn't see him catch anything though. I think there's a few boats cleared out now, so I'm going to go down there and have a look at anchoring again, see if I can find a space for tonight. I rolled pretty badly here last night, and I prefer not to do it again.